Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now you know that I love making different kinds of mithai and putting different flavors inside of this Guyanese classic. In today's video, I'm going to be making a cream soda mithai, and this one right here was a family favorite. I'm telling you guys, the cream soda made it so much softer, gave it a nice little fluffiness, and it gave it that nice creamy flavor. And when you burst into it, it's nice and soft, it's flaky, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I put it together. So let's get into this recipe. The first thing that we're going to do is start off in a large bowl with some all-purpose flour, and into that all-purpose flour we're going to start to add in our spices. So I'm going to be putting in some ground cardamom or elychee to begin with, and as per the usual, all of the ingredients and the proper measurements will be left in the description box below the video. The next ingredient that I'm going in with is some freshly ground roasted anise seeds. And I'm also going to be going in with a lot of freshly ground nutmeg. At this point, I'm going to be adding in some baking powder, and this baking powder is going to give it that little slight fluffiness. And this right here is some custard powder that I'm adding in. It's definitely a must whenever you're making mithai because it gives it such a nice richness and it gives it a nice softness as well. So at this point, I'm going to go in with my clean fingers. I'm going to mix up all these dried ingredients until everything is mixed properly together. Once the dried ingredients are mixed up together, we're going to be going in with our golden cream butter. I've been using the regular stick butter, the American butter from the grocery store, and it works out perfectly as well. So use whatever you have on hand and whatever you prefer in your kitchen. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and mix everything very well together and get that butter nice and crumbly and mixed into the flour. Once you get a nice crumbly mixture like this, it is time to go in with your freshly grated coconut. Now into a bowl off on the side here, I'm going to go ahead and mix up my wet ingredients so I can mix my mithai dough together. Now into this little bowl, I'm going to be going in with some cream soda, and I'm using the regular cream soda that you get from the West Indian store. Use whatever brand that you like. And I'm going to be going in with some evaporated milk. And I'm also going to be going in with a little bit of almond essence or extract. And if you wanted to use some vanilla essence or mixed essence, feel free to use that as well. Now into the dried ingredients, I'm going to be going in with my wet ingredients a little bit at a time until it comes together into a nice and soft dough. I will say that if you run out of the wet ingredients that we just mixed up, the mixture really is just half evaporated milk and half cream soda, so you can keep on adding some into the dough until it comes together. So once I mixed my dough together, I let it rest for about 30 minutes, just so this way the glutens could rest and it'll be even softer when we cook it. And at this point, since it's rested, I made 2 balls out of the dough, and I'm going to go ahead and roll it out to about a 1/2 inch thickness. And when you're making mithai, there's really no rhyme or rhythm. You can cut them as big or as small as you want. I cut them into pretty medium shaped sizes, and I go ahead and I make them into triangles as well as the diamond shapes. But again, whatever shape you want to cut it into, feel free to do that. One tip that I do have for all of you guys is to go ahead and cut the mithai into the same sizes. And the reason is because when you go to fry them, you want them to fry up at the same time and you want them to cook evenly. So go ahead and try to cut them as evenly as possible. Once you get all of your mithai pieces cut, you're going to go ahead and start the frying process. So I have some vegetable oil, or you can use canola oil, heating up in a medium-sized pot. And I'm going to go ahead and just add in a batch, and I'm going to fry it up until they're nice and golden brown. Remember, when you're frying mithai or anything, you want to keep your heat more so on a medium heat. And especially being that this has the cream soda inside, you have to keep it on a moderated heat or else it'll burn very quick. And remember, as you're frying, you have to keep stirring this mixture up and moving them around so this way they cook evenly and they don't burn on one side or not cook on one side. So it's been almost 4 minutes and my mithai is ready to come out of the oil. As you all can see, they've gotten a beautiful golden brown color, and this is exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to drain them in a bowl that I've lined with some paper towels, and I'm going to continue frying the rest of the batches of my mithai until I'm done frying all of them. Now since I've fried all of my mithai, I'm going to start working on my sugar syrup. So in a little pot here, I'm going to be going in with some water. And once you get your water in, you're also going to be going in with all of your sugar. Now I'm using a golden sugar today. It's like a cross between a white sugar and a brown sugar. It's like an organic cane sugar that we bought. If you wanted to use white sugar though, feel free to do that. And you can even use brown sugar. It'll just take a little longer to boil. And this part is optional, but I really like to add in some freshly ground elychee or cardamom into my sugar syrup. If you do not want to add any spices into this, you do not have to. I'm just going to stir this up and I'm going to let it come up to a boil. And it's going to boil for about 10 minutes, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less, depending on your stove. But I'm going to show you how to test it out. Now once you see that the sugar syrup has all these fine bubbles all around the edges and in the middle of it, it's time to go ahead and start to check it to see if it's done, because you do not want to overcook this. So in a little bowl, what I like to do is I like to add in a couple pieces of my mithai that I fried, and I'll go ahead and spoon a little bit of that sugar syrup on. Then I will take a spoon and I will go ahead and toss it up. Now if this mixture starts to turn cloudy, it starts to turn white and crystallize over the mithai, that's how you know the sugar syrup is done. But if you're keeping on mixing and the sugar syrup never really comes together, that's your indication that you have to keep on boiling the mixture for a little bit of a longer time. So after I tested that first batch, I realized the sugar syrup needed to boil a little bit longer. I let it boil for about another 2 to 3 minutes, and at this point I tested it again, and as you all can see, it's starting to get nice and white and nice and cloudy on my spoon. So this is our indication that we are ready to toss up our big batch of mithai. So at this point, I'm going to take all of that lovely sugar syrup that we made, I'm going to toss it all over those mithai pieces that we fried to golden brown perfection, and we're going to keep on mixing it until it's nice and crystallized. Now the key whenever you're making this mithai is to use a very soft motion when mixing it, or else you're going to break up the pieces of the mithai because they're so nice and soft and flaky. So basically the way that you do that is you're going to take your metal spoon and you're going to drag it around the side of the bowl like I'm doing. Now sometimes when people make mithai, this is the problem that they have. They tend to just mix it up anyway and anyhow, and that's what breaks up all of the pieces of mithai. Now once you get all of those pieces coated, you can go ahead and toss up the bowl a few times just to break up any pieces that have clumped together, and your mithai is all done and ready to serve. You guys, look at how amazing my cream soda mithai came out. I really and truly hope you all give this a try for this Holi or this Phagwa season or any of the Hindu holidays coming up in the near future. These were super soft, they were super flaky, they were nice and creamy and rich tasting because of all of that cream soda that we used inside of it. And of course all of the spices that we added in and the butter we used, it really helped to bring out that cream soda flavor. And as I'm showing you guys the finished product on the inside, you see just how flaky, how soft, and how buttery it looks on the inside. This is exactly what you want, and trust me, if you follow all of my tips and tricks as per the usual, you're going to get the perfect mithai at home, and you're going to leave all of your guests and your family members wanting more. So I hope you all enjoyed this video today. Please go ahead and give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed yet. Go ahead and drop your comments down below and let me know what I should be making next. I have a few more surprises for this Holi or Phagwa season, and then Navratri is coming up after that. So you guys are in for a lot of new treats. I'll see you all again very soon in my next video. Bye everyone.